While Kenny Pickett was supposed to be the safe veteran option, going 38 for 63 in OTAs, a fifth-round rookie just went 41 of 53 with 9 touchdowns and made it look effortless. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. This isn't just about completion percentages. This is about a front office that might have accidentally stumbled into the steal of the century, while their proven quarterbacks are quietly having meltdowns behind closed doors. I've been around this league long enough to smell panic when it's brewing. And right now in Cleveland, there's a lot of nervous energy surrounding that quarterback room. What we're witnessing isn't just some feel-good rookie story. This is a complete dismantling of everything the Browns thought they knew about their depth chart. By the end of this video, you'll understand why veteran quarterbacks are losing sleep, why coaches are already changing their tune about first-team reps, and why this fifth-round pick might be about to pull off the biggest upset in recent NFL history. Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal about the politics happening behind closed doors will shock you. Let me paint you the picture of what's really happening in Berea right now, because the numbers tell a story that's absolutely devastating for the veterans. You've got Joe Flacco, the Super Bowl champion, the guy they brought in as the steady hand, going 18 for 25 with just 2 touchdowns. That's a 71.4% completion percentage that would get you benched in college, let alone the NFL. Think about that for a second. This is supposed to be your veteran presence, your game manager, and he's struggling to complete basic passes in practice when there's no pass rush, no real pressure, just shorts and t-shirts. Then there's Kenny Pickett, remember him? The first-rounder Pittsburgh gave up on, the guy Cleveland traded for thinking they were getting a bargain. He's sitting there at sunny 8 for 63, which breaks down to a 60.3% completion rate. Now, Pickett did have one decent day, going 8 for 11, but overall these are not the numbers of a starting quarterback. These are the numbers of a guy who's pressing, who knows the rookie behind him is breathing down his neck and making it look effortless. But then, and this is where it gets really interesting, you've got this kid from Colorado. 5th-round pick, 4th on the depth chart when he walked into the building, and he's out there, completing passes at a 77.4% clip, like he'd been running Kevin Stefanski's offense for years. We're talking about 71 completions out of 73 attempts with 9 touchdowns. 9 touchdowns in practice. To put this in perspective, Dillon Gabriel, the 3rd-round pick they drafted ahead of Sanders, went 48 for 83. That's a 57.8% completion rate. So you have a 3rd-round quarterback completing fewer than 6 out of 10 passes, while the 5th-rounder is hitting more than 7 out of 10. The gap isn't just noticeable, it's embarrassing. Here's what makes this even more impressive. Sanders is doing this while working primarily with the second team. He's not throwing to Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy with the first-team offensive line protecting him. He's making it work with backup receivers and backup protection, and he's still putting up numbers that are making the guys ahead of him look ordinary. When your safe option is throwing incomplete passes in practice, you don't have a depth chart problem, you have a talent evaluation crisis. Here's what the talking heads on TV won't tell you, but I'm about to break down exactly why the experts are quietly changing their tune about Shedeur Sanders. When James Jones from the facility says his expectations have absolutely changed about Sanders, that's not just analyst speak. That's a former NFL player who knows what he's looking at, admitting he was wrong, dead wrong. This is the same guy who initially thought Sanders wouldn't even make the team, and now he's saying if this kid plays well in preseason, he needs to start week 1. Listen to what Jones said. Since he got drafted, they have changed, because when he got drafted, I stood up here, and I believed you're a 5th-rounder. They drafted a 3rd-rounder. They traded for a 1st-round quarterback. They signed a veteran quarterback. I'm like, he's going to have an uphill battle to even make this team because I didn't think that he was even going to have the reps. Think about the magnitude of that statement. We're talking about a complete 180-degree turn from a guy who covers this team daily. When was the last time you saw a late-round pick create this kind of chaos in a quarterback room before he'd even played a single NFL snap? This doesn't happen by accident. This happens when talent is so undeniable that it forces people to reconsider everything they thought they knew. A.J. Hawk, who knows a thing or two about making it as a late-round pick, dropped some serious knowledge about what's really going on here. See, when you're drafted in the 5th round, you don't get the same opportunities as the guys picked ahead of you. That's just how the business works. You're supposed to run scout team, maybe make the practice squad if you're lucky, and hope for a chance to develop over time. But suddenly, Kevin Stefanski is out here talking about an open competition for quarterbacks competing for the starting job. You know what that tells me? That tells me they've seen something in practice that's got them rethinking everything. Because let's be real, If this was really about draft position, Sanders would be running scout team and hoping to make the practice squad. Instead, he's getting meaningful reps against the twos, throwing into tight windows, and making throws that have coaches doing double takes. The shift in expert opinion isn't just about being wrong initially, it's about recognizing when talent transcends expectation. And when multiple people who get paid to evaluate football talent start changing their minds this dramatically, that's when you know something special is happening. But here's where the story gets really juicy, because it's not just about what's happening on the field. It's about the politics and lies that got us here. Multiple people are starting to call out the lies and the politics surrounding this whole situation, and what I am about to reveal will make you question everything you thought you knew about how Sanders ended up in Cleveland. Jerry Jones didn't lie when he showed interest in Sanders. Everyone knew he wasn't coming to Dallas to start over Dak Prescott. But teams like the Titans, the Saints, the Steelers, they absolutely lied to us. They had you believing they were serious about taking Sanders high, then they went in completely different directions, and now we're finding out why. Listen to this breakdown. The Titans lied to us for sure. The Steelers did too. The Saints did too. Whether we know it or not, they lied to us. You feel me? If you know your son was out doing what he was doing, but no, Daddy, I was studying, it don't mean you don't know. They've been saying, #1 pick, the whole time. Here's what really happened. These teams knew exactly what they had in Sanders. They saw the tape, they did their homework, they knew the talent was there, but they also knew that if they showed too much interest, if they made it obvious they wanted him, the price would go up. So they played games, they misdirected, they let him fall to the 5th round while secretly hoping he'd still be there when they picked. And now Kevin Stefanski might be doing the same thing. He's talking about this 4-way competition, but guess who's the only quarterback not getting first-team reps in OTAs? That's right, Shedeur Sanders. So either this competition isn't as open as they're claiming, or they're about to make some serious changes when training camp starts. Think about the chess game being played here. The Browns are trying to manage egos, trying to respect the veterans they brought in to compete, but every day Sanders steps on that practice field, he's making it harder and harder to justify keeping him as the 4th quarterback. They're caught between doing what's politically safe and doing what's best for winning football games. The pressure on this organization is going to be enormous. The Browns haven't had consistent quarterback play in decades. They've been cycling through retreads and draft busts for years, and suddenly they might have their franchise guy sitting there as a 5th-round pick while they're paying big money to guys who can't complete 60% of their passes in practice. But here's the thing about talent, it doesn't lie. You can't fake making throws into tight windows. You can't fake processing information quickly and getting the ball out on time. And when that talent starts forcing hands, when it becomes impossible to ignore, that's when the real panic sets in for everyone who thought they were safe. You want to know what's really eating at these veterans. It's not just that Sanders is completing passes. It's how he's completing them, and the psychological warfare that's happening in that quarterback room right now. We're talking about throws into extremely tight windows, NFL-level precision that rookies aren't supposed to be making consistently. When you see a kid making throws that require that level of timing and accuracy, that's when alarm bells start going off for the guys ahead of him on the depth chart. Because here's what they're thinking. If he's doing this in practice, what's he going to do when the lights come on? Let's start with Kenny Pickett. This guy already got run out of Pittsburgh. Think about the psychological impact of that. He comes to Cleveland thinking he's getting a fresh start, a chance to prove he belongs, and now he's watching a 5th-round rookie make him look ordinary. Every incomplete pass is a reminder that his window might be closing faster than he thought. Every perfect throw from Sanders is another nail in the coffin of his starting quarterback dreams. Joe Flacco is dealing with a different kind of pressure. At this stage of his career, he knows his window is closing. Every incomplete pass in practice is a reminder that Father Time is undefeated. He's supposed to be the veteran presence, the guy who can manage the game and not make mistakes. But 18 for 35. That's not managing anything that's struggling to complete basic passes when everything should be easier. Here's what's really happening psychologically. Sanders isn't just outplaying them statistically, he's doing it while dealing with more pressure than any of them. Every throw matters more for him than it does for Flacco or Pickett. Every rep is an audition, and instead of cracking under that pressure, he's thriving. That's not something you can teach. That's not something you can coach. That's the difference between guys who have it and guys who don't. The panic isn't just individual, it's spreading through the entire quarterback room. When Dillon Gabriel, the 3rd-round pick, is watching a 5th-rounder outperform him, what does that do to his confidence? When coaches start talking about open competitions that weren't supposed to exist, what does that do to the established hierarchy? Here's the reality that nobody wants to admit. If Sanders continues this trajectory, if he keeps making throws and showing this level of poise, the Browns are going to have to make a decision. And that decision is going to come a lot sooner than anyone expected. Because you know what happens when a late-round quarterback starts showing franchise-level talent. The whole organization starts questioning everything. The veterans can feel it, the coaches can see it, the front office is starting to realize it. This isn't just a feel-good story about a late-round pick making the team. This is about a franchise quarterback who fell to the 5th round, and everyone's about to find out what that really means. So here's what we've uncovered today. A 5th-round quarterback is statistically embarrassing veterans who were brought in to start. Experts who initially dismissed him are now calling for him to be the Week 1 starter. The politics and lies that led him fall to Cleveland are being exposed. And veteran quarterbacks are quietly panicking as they watch their jobs slip away to a 22-year-old rookie. This isn't just about completion percentages or practice statistics. This is about recognizing when talent transcends expectations, when the conventional wisdom gets turned upside down, and when a franchise might have accidentally stumbled into their future while everyone else was playing politics. The countdown to training camp starts now, and honestly, I can't wait to see Kenny Pickett's face when Sanders starts taking first-team snaps, because something tells me we won't have to wait long. Talent like this doesn't stay hidden. And Cleveland fans deserve to see what their 5th-round steal can really do when he gets his shot. What do you think? Is Sanders about to pull off the biggest upset of the upcoming season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe because this quarterback battle is just getting started. And you don't want to miss what happens next when the pads come on and it's real football.